Ashley describes and then plays the spiritual Whole World in His Hands on the C recorder.
Ashley, in Walk Together Children, you have the beautiful spiritual In His Hands.
Yes.
Could you play a bit of that one? Everybody knows this song. I bet they don't know it's really a spiritual.
Yes, it comes from the Black American slaves, and it's loved and sung throughout the world. In other countries, taught historically, but in our country, the children learn and love the songs, but they very rarely know they come from Black American slaves. In His hands, they got the whole world in His hands.
Next, Ashley shows us how he created the music sheets for his spirituals books using simple hand tools.
Little notes, quarter notes, half notes, eighth notes, and because in the songs they use syllables and they're spread out, so I have to know when I get the type where the words are, so I can print that on the plain staff where it's going to come with the words, and that will be varying for each song. So I cannot give you a page printed like this as an original. I can make a copy of this and give you. But these are hand printed. One is hand printed for the book, but I've stuck with each one. There would be all these words pasted down, and then that part. If I need this, I need a bar to do a bar. Okay. Print that in. I need a base, a time signature, whatever. But all of those are cut on these little blocks. Why? Since these songs have always meant so much to people throughout the world, and in the Black families and traditions, it's at the heart of all of our music. I didn't care how long it would take to get the feeling of the printed music to go with the illustration. And so this was all a joy. It didn't matter how long it took, but every one of these songs cut in the same way and printed to be a partner to this thing. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom. So I had to keep moving and putting the notes where the words would be.
Ashley now describes the woodblock and linoleum block cutting process he uses to create the images for his books.
These are lino cuts. They will go up as wood blocks. They are cut to look like wood blocks, not to fool anyone. But they are cut in the tradition of the wood blocks, and so, but they are lino cuts, and it doesn't matter that they say wood blocks, because it's meant I'm approximating the wood with a material that I can carry wherever I go. I come up here in the summer, I go to Antigua, I can carry them and keep working. Because with block cutting, you cannot just go all the way through if you have any question about what to cut out, because once you cut out anything, you cannot put it back. Right. So you have to take your time and consider it, go to another one, get to a certain, and then keep referring back to it, and then you will have it. Now, these are my tools. They're basic tools that I've had from college days, wood cutting tools, and they present different widths for the gouges, and that's what I use in whatever I'm cutting. I will do that. If I'm digging out, I'll use a flatter tool to cut those areas, and then, but I can get whatever I'm after using this set of wood cutting tools. But they're used for all kinds of cuttings.
In the next segment, Ashley explains how he produces the color images for the jackets of his books.
Every so often, I will do a block print, which will be black and white. And at times, I may have gotten all of the painting, the print as clearly as I wish. Then I will take it, and at times I will do a colored print that comes from the black and white. And that's what we're using in this publication of Walk Together Children, and I'm going to sing as the jacket designs, the colored block prints for the jackets.
Now, Ashley explains how he makes prints of the images on the wood and linoleum blocks.
Ashley, could you show us how it is when you make the prints? What does the process look like?
When I'm making the prints, I have a linoleum block, and it's unmounted, so it's light. So I can carry 10, 15 blocks with me as I travel during the 2 years or 3 years in which I'm cutting these blocks. When I have used these tools cutting a design in the block, I then will roll the ink on the block. My black ink, I'll take it out of the can, and then I will set that out on a plate. And then the ink is rolled on a plate. Now this is the black ink. Okay? I will have next to it a plate. Ink there and then rolled. Then I will take the block and roll the ink on the block. All onto the block is covered. Now the ink is only going to go on the upper level of the linoleum. Whatever is white has been dug out. Now then I take that inked block and I put it in a place. I generally mark it so I'll know exactly where to the size of the paper. I put the paper on, and then with one of my tools, these are all hand rubbed. I do not use a press. My blocks are hand rubbed and will therefore last forever. They are not getting the pressure of a press. And I rub with my hand this way. And then after I've rubbed and rubbed and rubbed in that way, I can take the block, I lift it off, and when I lift it, you will see it coming up, and the picture will be revealed. As if, see, and that's what you will get, and that will be the print. You see, I can do as many prints from this block as I like. I can say in addition there are 50 prints I am going to do of this block. Each time I do a print, I will write on a corner 1 of 50, 5 of 50, 20 of 50, 50 of 50. Every number is of equal value. I will then sign it on the right-hand side. I put the title of the spiritual in the middle. Now, when I have done this whole series of printing of the block of 50, I will then do a number called A over P, artist proof. The artist always does a number of AP prints which he can use or she use in exhibits or to give as gifts to family and friends. And that's the whole process. And block printing has gone through the beginning of times of printing and has been used in early times. Now children were taking my books and coloring them in. Now that's what was done in the first block printed books. They would cut spare and they would hand paint colors. So when parents told me, my child is calling your book, I said, they were doing what has always been done in block printed books. They would cut and leave the spaces and hand color the colors.
Finally, Ashley shows us the very large and colorful paintings he is creating from the much smaller images in his books.
Here, the cook does not have to be a beautiful woman.
Right.
Isn't that something? So I develop it, it's a whole new world of painting for me, although I'm following this, but it's so exciting to work on that scale from these little watercolors.
Yes, it is, and the color use.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed our introduction to Ashley Bryan in his studio.